Do we call this stuff out?
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
Welcome to the WAN show. Riley.
It's a show!
Riley and I were just in the middle of discussing what you do on the WAN show, because he hasn't been on it in a while. And
well, I was on it actually.
Guess we're jumping right in.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, were you?
But I screwed it up.
You screwed it up.
I didn't click and that was me.
Yes.
That's my fault.
Ah, yes. Was that now?
He didn't know that.
I didn't know it was you. I knew that a thing went wrong.
Oh wow, my coworkers protected me.
So now I'm gonna have to add WAN show to the list of things that we can't trust Riley with, along with RTX 2080 reviews.
You know what you can trust me with? New apparel.
Pimping the merch.
Hey!
Love it. So I've actually got our oldest merch, and then Riley's decked out in our newest stuff. We can talk about that later. Anyway, we've got a bunch of great topics for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the new 8-core Core i9 MacBook Pro. Of course, I have some sort of mixed thoughts on this machine. We've yet to get one in the office, but I've been following the latest developments pretty closely. We're also going to be talking about YouTube's controversial move to change the subscriber counter so it's harder to tell just how many subscribers a channel has. What else we got?
We got Nvidia Super something. They teased something on social media. They released a YouTube video.
I don't even know if I want to give them attention for that.
Okay,
kind of nonsense.
we're not going to talk
No,
about
we'll
that
talk about it
at all.
We'll talk about it. It's just going to be me ranting angrily instead of actually speculating. Well, you can speculate.
I can't wait.
All right, what else we got?
Oh, well, we got the Huawei nonsense.
Oh, good.
We could talk about that a little bit.
We'll talk about that later.
We got 5G. So many things.
And first we got the intro.
See you later. There's music here?
Yeah.
I never know, because you play the intro and it's like, do we keep talking? They can hear us talking right now.
Oh yeah, they can hear us talking over the music. It's one of those things that we could fix, but we didn't.
Corsair! Wait, what?
Squarespace.
Squarespace!
Madrinas.
Madrinas coffee.
Oh hey, Madrinas is a sponsor. Well, they can't see you drinking it like that.
Well, that's why I tried to make it extra loud.
All right, guys, so why don't we jump right into our, oh shoot, I think I left the title wrong on Floatplane, poor Floatplane. Never mind,
No,
I
it's
just
great.
needed to refresh the tab. Freaking awesome.
Love you
Yay,
so much.
Floatplane. All right, so, oh wow.
Oh!
It is so terrible
Oh.
that Luke isn't here today.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
no, I mean, it's, wow, that came across wrong. We're adding co-host the WAN show with Linus to the things, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so the reference I'm making there, guys, is on Riley's first WAN show, I made a joke that he wasn't
If they don't know.
qualified
Yeah.
to review the RTX 2080, and people got upset because it wasn't a joke. He's not.
And the difference is that I am qualified to review it badly. So if you don't want that,
Look, everyone here has their different specialties. Anthony's our GPU guy. He's more qualified than either of us. I was just poking fun at Riley, so that's the reference I'm making here.
maybe we shouldn't even address that.
But
Just-
Riley, the thing that you're not qualified to talk about compared to my usual
compared to
co-host
Luke.
is actually the latest by creators for creators video streaming service that popped up on the internet.
Have I heard about this?
I doubt it. It actually, it happened pretty quietly. And I'm trying to remember what it's called right now. Ah, yes, here we go. So I wish Luke was here because we would have a lot to say about this, but guess what? There is another creator-created video service out there now. So they've got a handful of creators, including Minute Physics, SciShow, who else is on here? Low Spec Gamer is on there.
These guys are all on it?
These guys are all on
Oh,
it.
dang.
This isn't actually.
So we have a new arch enemy.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that at all. Like their shtick is honestly so different from Floatplane that I couldn't be less concerned about it. Like it's
When do we launch a concentrated strike?
a concentrated strike.
When do we send the strike force?
I
Just
mean,
kidding. Love all of you guys.
So their jam is that it's mostly like science and
yeah.
intellectual creators. So
Unlike us.
I'm kind of thinking that our strike force probably doesn't have to be that hardcore.
Oh.
I'm generalizing.
That's not
I'm generalizing.
nice.
I shouldn't.
Well, we would have the gadgets.
I shouldn't
They're
generalize.
just like sitting there in coffee shops thinking about like the questions of the universe, and we're like, you know, building weapons.
I don't think we have much capacity to build weapons either. In fact, I would give them more weapon building street cred than us for
Yeah,
sure.
maybe. Okay, look.
I sure wish this was authenticating.
I turned it right from the get-go into something where they have to be enemies. We can be friends, you know?
This is
We can
the
coexist.
problem.
What are you
This
doing?
is the problem with not just having proper USB ports on laptops.
Oh, right. You got an adapter. You got a dongle. There.
Yeah, I think this dongle hub is broken.
You're trying to live that dongle life right now.
I hate that dongle life. I'll be back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
And this, in addition to the fact that 8 cores is too much. It's not too much. It's too much for an Apple laptop. This is also why you don't buy the Apple MacBook Pro, because they don't have enough USB ports.
All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
I'm upset.
Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Freaking stupid butt. There it goes.
Dongle is rubbish. You're right. Back 729.
Yeah, this dongle's bad. Hey, Colton.
What's up?
Got a bad dongle.
Yeah, show me your dongle.
Bad dongle. E-waste pile. E-waste pile. Oh, he stepped on it.
I did.
I mean, I wouldn't use the word stomp.
Colton's an absolute mad lad.
I definitely wouldn't use the word crush, but step. Step, yes.
Boom, roasted.
All right, so, oh, what is it? Hold on
You know,
a second.
I
Did they
just
block
really
my
want to
account?
talk about. Did they? You're trying to log in?
Yeah, I'm logging
Trying
in.
to log
Okay,
into
that's
the
what I'm
competitor
trying-
site, and
that's what I'm trying
they
to do.
deleted your account.
No, I wouldn't. Honestly. Okay, so speaking honestly.
Yeah.
No, I do not consider this a competitor. And I don't mean that in like a casting shade
They'll
way.
never be at our level.
I just mean that it's really, really different from what we're doing. So
Right.
I signed up for a trial account. They have a 7-day trial. And I was obviously really curious. Hold on, let me just make sure that this is muted. Yep, good. I was obviously really curious to see how they've got it set up. Like, what's their shtick?
Right.
So it looks like one of the things that they're using to stand out, so you can really see from the categories, explainers, history, music, science and engineering, technology, writing, like they're really focused on like kind of STEM categories.
Right.
And then also music and gaming and film and TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this would be good to have Luke here for this.
And then they've also got originals. So Grand Test Auto has done some originals. Isaac Arthur has done some originals. Polyphonic has done some originals. I mean, they just launched, so honestly, there's not a ton going on right now. Touchscreen works to scroll through this deal though, so that's pretty cool. So I can do that. See? Check that out. Let me just see. Yeah, CGP Grey. We'll go ahead and click on that. So you can see people are uploading some of their back catalog, but it seems to be right now mostly. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I do know that CGP Grey has some involvement with the project. He appears to be listed as I don't want to get the terminology wrong. I want to say co-founder.
One of the big honchos. One of the big cheeses.
What is this? Oh, no, I don't want contact us. I want about us. Dang it. Yeah, I got it. Cookies.
We
I
should
know,
send him a
I know.
message that we're
About.
talking about them right now.
Here we go. Hold on a second. Yes, community co-founded. Yes, co-founded by Dave Wiskus, CGP Grey, and Philip Detmer. So you can see here that he's actually got videos on here that this says 8 years ago, though. There's no way they were working on this 8 years ago. So I had seen one from him that said a year ago, and that was the oldest video that I'd seen. But I think that might just be an older video of his that maybe is from like, I don't know, Patreon or something like
Right.
that.
Oh, but
And maybe you can manually key in a date. so
these
people
are all
know it's older.
exclusives? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know exactly what they are. So I've only spent a few minutes poking around. I'm not going to actually play any of the content because,
We don't want to.
guys, go get
don't
your
wanna
own.
get in trouble.
Go get
Yeah.
your own trial. Yeah, like I'm not trying to get in trouble or anything here. But basically, these guys are taking a completely different approach. So they're doing $5 a month that subscribes you to the entire site, whereas for us, we evaluated the model of a per site subscription and couldn't really find a way to make that make sense.
Right.
So maybe obviously we're going to be looking further into what exactly they're doing. So maybe they figured out something that we haven't, but hopefully that goes really well. So we're doing a per creator subscription, more like what someone like a Patreon is doing. And their other thing is that they're going invite only. So it's supposed to be like a curated list of creators that are kind of educational. And this actually ties in really well with a video that Veritasium released earlier this week talking about the changes in the YouTube algorithm and how they affect creators.
That was a really good video.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good because it was in the writers' meeting notes as required viewing.
I watched it before you told us to watch it.
Did you?
Actually,
Excellent.
ahead of the curve.
So as a recap, Derek from Veritasium basically made a viral video, super viral, 33 million views or something crazy like that. And then a couple days later, did a post-mortem on why and how that video went viral and how YouTube's algorithmic, I don't want to call it favoritism, but how YouTube's algorithmic tendencies tend to be towards videos that just get an excellent click-through ratio.
Have a lot of tiny balls in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Or just anything else that's very enticing in the thumbnail because at the end of the day, YouTube wants to keep people watching on the site as often as possible and for as long as possible. That's how Google makes money through YouTube. The more ads you watch, so much the better. So he kind of went, so here's the thing. Your more niche content or your kind of more dry, sciencey, boring, explainy content that gets, 4% of the people who see an impression for it to click on it is just not going to get that prime real estate the way that something more sensational that gets 25% of the people to click on it will.
Right.
And you can't blame YouTube for that. They want people to watch videos.
That's the way that the algorithm decides is the best way to serve people the content that they want to watch.
But it still means that for people who are not able or not willing to engage in the whole, we filled our backyard with Thai Beanie Babies or whatever, like that kind.
Which is very interesting.
A dump truck of Thai Beanie Babies.
Yeah, from a scientific perspective.
Yes, very scientific.
How does the ragdoll physics and...
So people like that are looking for a way out of the algorithm. And one of the things that WatchNebula.com says is there's no algorithm. And that makes sense given that this is like a curated list of supposed to be educational or intellectual creators for sort of I don't know, whatever kind of audience would want that sort of thing.
They're anti-algorithm.
Yes, they're anti-algorithm. I mean, the cold hard truth is that even if they wanted an algorithm, that's a lot of R&D.
That's true. Yeah. They're like, we're doing it. It's a choice. Okay,
Yeah,
we could have had an algorithm. It's easy. We could have done it.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where Floatplane is also anti-algorithm. The way that we see it, a creator's page.
Right.
That's their page. That's not our page to advertise other creators. Especially because on Floatplane, you're paying per creator, so it's not like you'd be able to watch that other creator anyway.
Exactly.
But also, the cold hard truth is that even if Floatplane wanted to build a recommended algorithm, we would be a decade away from anything approaching the sophistication of what someone like a YouTube is doing.
I could start working on that right now.
You got this?
Yeah. It's no problem. I watched the YouTube trending page a bunch. I know how it works.
So 225 Perfect says Patreon support helps to bypass the algorithm at least somewhat. That may be the case, but Patreon is always going to be limited. Well, not always. I mean, they could fix it, I guess. But for now, they're limited in one key way. They don't have a way to economically serve video. They don't have a way to economically serve video on their site. So they're never going to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
And that was what we identified for Floatplane, and that's what the...
You can combine Patreon and a video platform.
That's what the Standard Shows team seems to have identified for watchnebula.com,
I see.
where you're going to want a way to both engage with the creator and support them and actually consume the content
Right.
in one place. So for my part, I wish them the best of luck. I think that there is a ton of room for alternate video platforms. I think that I also have concerns about fragmentation. I think that's definitely something that stands to become a problem if this and
Right.
Floatplane
There's a million.
and the one Jordan Peterson is allegedly working
Right.
on, and like,
If there's a bunch of people who see Floatplane and they're like, we should do that. You know, that's a problem, but at least they saw that we were first. That's
are
what
we? Because it looks like they've launched before we formally launched.
Wow, you can go sign up for Floatplane right now.
That is true. That is
I
true.
mean,
You can.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's too bad Luke's not here because he'd probably be even more angry than I am right now.
No, I've talked to him about it already today.
And I'm really mad.
Why are you so determined to be mad about this?
That's just my instinct. I get defensive, you know? This is my tribe.
Yeah, no, it's
You better watch it, guys.
yeah, no, it's a non-issue. I mean, they're okay. The tech is really different. So they're using Amazon AWS for their backend. We've already dug into that. They are one of the key points of differentiation seems to be originals. That's not something that's a major focus for Floatplane. It's more like behind the scenes,
Right.
And early access. That's where we kind of see the value. But the way that I think creators are going to see it is they could use either of these as just like a toolbox of sorts anyway. I suspect that I haven't actually seen their creator agreement, although I'd be fascinated to, obviously. But I suspect they don't lock people into a particular way of using it because they describe themselves as a toolbox the same way that we do. So you could probably upload early access stuff there if you wanted. So our other major point of differentiation is video quality. And that's something where, because they're on AWS, they either can't or won't be competitive with YouTube on. So their 1080p is 3 megabit. Do you have context for that? Okay, yeah, that's pretty low. So to put it in perspective,
I knew it was probably low.
Yeah, YouTube's is somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, 8 to 8, if I recall correctly. Okay. So more than double, and it does make a noticeable difference. Our 1080p is, I believe, closer to 15. So it's closer to the bitrate of YouTube's 1080, which is why, 4K. So that's why Floatplane at 1080 looks as good as YouTube at 4K. We're actually getting really close to launching 4K for Floatplane. But it's taking some time because we're honestly not quite sure how to roll it out. Do you think you can fire up a straw poll for me?
I can do that.
Okay, Riley's gonna fire up a straw poll here. My electrician's calling. Sorry, Brian, I can't deal with that right now.
What are we asking?
LOL. We're gonna ask people what they wanna see from Floatplane's 4K because we've had some internal debate about it. So right now, our 720p already looks great because it's competitive with 1080p bit rates on other sites. But people don't like that. They don't want to click 720p when they have a 1080 screen.
Right.
Because they feel like they're getting shortchanged and they're not having the full experience.
Yeah, and you can tell them 720p is just as good as 1080 all you want.
Or they'll be like, look, I'm having performance problems because I can run 1080 on Netflix and YouTube. But I can only run 720 on Floatplane.
Right.
And be like, oh, okay. And the thing is, you can't explain to everyone in the world the difference between resolution and bitrate, or the relationship between resolution and bitrate. So your resolution is just how many pixels by how many pixels. You could have a 4K resolution image that is at like, a 2 kilobit per second bitrate that basically just looks like kind of shifting colors.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing.
Like a postmodern art project.
The pixels are there, but there's no information. That's the bit rate.
Except that which you choose to glean from it.
Yeah.
Through interpretation.
That could be, wow. That sounds like an art piece.
Yeah, we
like
could
a
actually
modern
do
art.
this.
Yeah, modern art museum.
LTT gets into art.
I know, right? So then on the other side of things, the bit rate only tells you sort of how much data stream you have to work with. You could have a very high bit rate and a very low resolution, and you reach a point of diminishing returns. Like if you're running at 240p, and then you know go to 60 megabit per second. So for context, that's about like an HDR Blu-ray. It's still gonna look pixelated and crappy.
But it's gonna look really a lot better on a 4K screen.
No, it'll look as good as it could, given the limitations of the resolution.
Each one of those pixels will be as good as it could be.
Exactly. So you want to find a balance. So anyway, we've got this issue with messaging where people get upset because they can't run the same resolution on Floatplane that they can on other sites. So in order for our 4K to really look a lot better than our 1080p, we're looking at bit rates in the range of 25 to 35 megabit per second. And that's getting close to a 1080p Blu-ray. Now the problem with that is that even people with a 50 megabit per second or 100 megabit per second connection to their internet provider might run into problems streaming this because of network overhead, because of nearby neighbors who are busy, torrenting the Game of Thrones finale or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
And their service isn't able to sustain that. Also, sometimes you can run into kind of routing issues where it kind of goes around or it takes a bunch of jumps, and even though you've got the throughput, your connection quality isn't great, so you end up with buffering or lag. And as a young video serving service that's building our own CDN rather than using AWS because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this really, really high quality, we don't have endpoints like on every block.
Right.
That's more Netflix's jam, once you reach that kind of a scale.
Gotcha.
So here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Everyone out there, not just Floatplane peeps, do you want us to A, downgrade our 1080p bitrate and then serve a 4K file that is a slightly higher bitrate than YouTube's 4K?
Serve higher
Okay.
bitrate 4K.
Option number 2, leave our 1080p the way that it is, so about equivalent to YouTube's 4K, and then have like a CPU internet connection murdering 4K.
Serve way higher bitrate 4K?
Yeah, I'm talking like 30 megabit a second, like crazy stupid for
Sure.
internet streaming. Those are really the main options because I pitched Luke on having multiple 4K files that we could dynamically switch between so that people could press 4K and feel like they're getting the 4K experience, but so that if their internet connection sucked, we'd be able to just switch over to the lower bitrate one. And he was like, what are you trying to do to me?
Please.
Look, storage is expensive. Do you know how much storage costs? You pay for the storage. Do you really want multiple 4K
Yeah,
files per
it's up
video?
to
I'm
you.
like, okay. So go ahead and create that poll.
Like that?
Yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine.
All right.
So create that poll. I want to know what people want to see. I'm going ahead and fire up your screen here. Do you want to post that in the YouTube chat? Do you have the YouTube chat open?
Is this the link? I've never actually created a straw
You've never
poll.
created a straw poll before?
Is that it?
Yeah,
Is
throw it
that
in the
what I- did I
Floatplane
do
chat
it?
first, I guess. Oh no, that's Twitch.
What? I don't have the Floatplane. I wasn't signed into Floatplane because
Oh, boy.
I'm not signed in on this.
Oh boy. Oh
Here,
boy.
I
Are
can
you
send
signed
it to
into
you.
anything?
Oh
Oh man, do I just have to
Oh, here, I'll
like,
put in the doc, dude.
type this menu? Okay, that
yeah.
works. That works.
Yeah.
Where are you putting it? Very top?
Very top.
Very top. All right. I will post it in the chat.
Boom. It's there. Or
It's taking a hot minute to. There it goes. Dang it! I pressed refresh on the page right as it popped in.
Here's the poll, guys, in Twitch. Boom.
All right. So
That's Luke.
here's my Floatplane chat.
I'm Luke on Twitch.
Boom. All right. Oh, I see an interesting suggestion in Floatplane chat already. How about this? How about you stream at like sort of the, better but not ridiculous quality, but then have the download be available in like, murderous quality. Okay,
see.
so that doesn't get around Luke's concern that we are still outputting multiple 4K files for every upload, but I will consider it. It's just that, like I said, storage is really, really expensive. Yeah. How about codec? H.265 and VP9 are quite a bit more efficient. Yes, that is a good suggestion, but unfortunately, it's challenging. Hudson Toady says, why not have a variable bitrate on the fly instead of different files? That's complicated.
Don't make me get started on that.
That's like really, really complicated. Look, like we're hiring more people, but we would need a lot of stuff for that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna load up the results here, and we can have a look.
Seems like most people want us to leave 1080p as is.
And just murder their connections? Okay. Well, it looks like that's the way we're going then.
Well, why would you want? I mean, most people are gonna be watching in 1080p.
No, they won't. I think most people just click highest quality. Well, that must be the highest quality one.
Yeah.
And then if they get stuttering, then I feel like they're going to be unhappy. And
I mean, for me, and when I'm on YouTube or anywhere where I only go to up the quality when I think that the quality visibly looks not good enough. Like on YouTube, if I'm like, this looks a little blurry, then I'll go to the quality and check.
that's an interesting perspective.
I used to go, I think when 4K first came out on YouTube, I used to go click on 4K because I wanted the highest quality every time, but now...
I think they also never defaulted to 4K back when they first rolled it out.
Right. Well, actually, I think if you upload it in 4K, I'm not sure. I think it kind of intelligently scaled based on like what you were watching.
I think it really depended. I think at that time, they didn't just automatically set people's playback to 4K because... just the average computer was much slower. So the landscape has changed a fair bit now, and YouTube does automatically select 4K when it notices you have a screen resolution and a connection that can handle it just fine.
I see.
I mean, another option is always going the Netflix route, where they just don't give you the choice. It just is
like,
whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah, enjoy.
Go watch some Crave.
Or don't enjoy. Yeah, exactly.
Or not Crave.
Crave.
We have Crave up here in Canada. In the States, it's...
Do they have Crave in the States?
No, it's HBO now or show, because Crave is like HBO, Showtime, and anyways, whatever, guys.
Sure.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. Hey, should we talk about like news?
This is news.
No. Oh, well, yeah.
You don't think Standard?
No, I
and
think it's important.
Nebula is news.
I always forget that WAN show is more kind of just about like we're just chilling.
No, WAN show is about the news. So why don't we talk about YouTube changing the subscriber counter? Now, I know this is something that you feel quite passionately about. This was posted by Tech Dreamer on the forum. I'm just going to go ahead and bring up that thread, and it is obviously a very polarizing topic.
Subscribe -1.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, well, here's some behind the scenes. Before we started the show, I was kind of like, oh, this doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me. And Linus was like, what?
That's not what I said.
That was a perfect impression.
That is not what I sounded like. I sounded quite different from that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, do you want to explain what's happening?
Well, I don't actually entirely know what's happening,
I'll
but I
explain
can
what's
try.
happening
Wait,
then.
I'll tell you what's happening.
All right, tell me what's happening.
So YouTube appears to be changing the way that they're displaying subscriber counts. You can see it in the GIF that's on screen right now. They're basically going to They're going to start rounding it. They've been doing it for some creators.
Yep.
If you go on YouTube, you've been able to see this already happening. But
Yep.
now it's going to be kind of standard procedure for them to round to like the nearest whatever it is. They actually give some examples, I think, in this post.
And they've always done it in some places.
Right.
Like, for example, actually, I'm gonna pop out of this now, and I'm going to jump into my own YouTube dashboard here for a second.
And yes, it's GIF, guys. Linus says GIF too. Don't get at me.
Why are you throwing me under the same bus?
You can say GIF if you want. I have no problems.
No, I'm a GIF person.
I grew up saying GIF. All right, it's what I am.
But did you?
Yeah.
Really?
I never said GIF.
Oh,
For the first time I saw it, it was GIF, and then when I heard somebody say GIF the first time, I was like, what?
Oh,
but
that's
now I've learned to
interesting.
accept it. I'm like, hey, you know what? You want to say GIF? Fine. You want to say GIF? It's fine. I say
Oh.
GIF.
See, I only switched over when the creator came out and said that
Oh, really?
it was GIF, not GIF.
That was just a bonus for me.
And and then everyone got all mad about that. So just to be a troll, I started doing it.
Because I've noticed you said it in like in the weekly meetings.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that you said it until like a couple weeks ago or something. You said
Yeah.
it for the first time. I was like,
No, I did switch
'cause
over like
we had an argument with it in my carpool.
oh. Who are the wrong people in your carpool?
James, David,
Oof.
Lloyd.
No. Yeah, it's a GIF, and you display them on your Giraffics card.
Ah.
Hey!
Oh, you're just doing it to be rude.
No, not
And
at all.
I'm just out here trying to be a good person.
No. GIF.
Okay, anyway,
Shoot,
YouTube
I can't find
subscribers.
it. Yeah, I was looking for a spot where, you know what? It might be on mobile.
Oh, here we go. If a channel has 4,227 subscribers, the public subscriber count will read 4.2K.
Yeah.
So it basically just gets rid of the last, 2 or 3 or 4 digits based on, whether you're in the thousands or the tens of thousands or the millions.
Yes. Now, the one exception to this is channels that are under 1,000 subscribers. Those ones will still display with complete granularity because the rationale behind this change, which is actually what I find most obnoxious, like none of the rest of this stuff really matters to me. The rationale behind it is that what they're trying to prevent is dislike bombing, or unsubscribe bombing.
Right.
So there was a recent controversy
Toddy
between
versus James Charles.
two people about whom I know and care nothing, quite frankly.
I don't really know anything about them except their names.
I read
Makeup people.
I read one article on a particularly vapid site, and it told me everything I need to know about not needing to know anything about any of this. But basically what happened was there was some sort of like, oh no, they didn't drama on YouTube. And one of these people, I don't even know which one, don't clarify it for me. I really don't
James
care.
Charles is the bad
guy. Care.
Toddy is the good guy. Girl. Person. What?
Ooh.
What, you think
Okay.
we're gonna get in trouble for that?
No.
I'm just joking.
You know what? It doesn't matter. The point is, one of them, I think, lost like 2 million subscribers or something like
Yeah.
that over a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And so what YouTube is trying to do is remove the instant gratification that people get.
Oh, you thought I was being weird when I say good guy. No, Toddy is the girl.
I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
just to clarify. Keep
I
going.
don't know. These are just.
No. Keep
Toddy
going.
is a random assembly of characters.
Right.
It's not.
Gotcha.
That's not even a name. Toddy.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay, so what they're trying to prevent is people unsubscribe bombing and getting that instant gratification of seeing the subscriber number go down, and then news outlets start jumping in and reporting on this and going, they lost 100,000 subscribers,
and that just
it's all
feeds.
over, and then it becomes this negative feedback loop, and at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't want people unsubscribing.
Right.
They don't want people to stop
Yeah, they
watching.
don't want that. Even
That's-
if they're unsubscribing from somebody and subscribing to another person, well, maybe that's a neutral.
But from my perspective, removing this sort of this insight that we have into how the platform is operating is really frustrating and just makes our jobs more difficult. So one of the tools
You don't like that you don't like that YouTube is telling us about this?
No, what I don't like is that YouTube is removing yet another piece of bloody information that we have. So,
As a public, because
Yes.
the creators themselves still have the access to how many specific subscribers.
that they have themselves, yes. Okay, so just to be clear, I still get an accurate subscriber count within my dashboard.
Right.
But you guys will not be able to see exactly how many subscribers I have at Linus Tech Tips. Now, the thing is, there are third-party sites like socialblade.com that allow creators to keep tabs on how the platform is doing overall. So we can track how many views other creators are getting. We can
Right.
track how many subscribers they are gaining or losing. And it's a really valuable tool for figuring out what the overall trends are on the YouTube platform without relying on useless tools like the YouTube trending tab,
Right.
which is useless. You know how I know it's useless? Because of how many of my videos end up in it that honestly aren't doing very well.
Like, I shouldn't be trending.
This is clearly not trending. I don't know how you define trending.
I just watched an interesting video about
Yeah.
the trending tab today, which was saying that in Canada here, if you're on the Canadian version of YouTube, the trending page is completely different than it is in the US. I didn't know this.
Sure is.
It's all like traditional media. it was a video by Coffee Break, if you guys know who that is. But it's all like traditional media, like late night talk shows and like real news outlets and stuff on the trending page. And in Canada, we go down it's all YouTubers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally different. So whenever I'm down in the States, I do notice that. The other funny thing is my Creator Studio app gives me a notification every time I hit trending. So when I'm in Canada,
Oh, really?
like every other day I get a stupid, "You're trending, let your audience know," notification. But I'm on Canada trending, which is utterly worthless.
Right.
Whereas US trending I think might actually matter a little bit.
I wonder if I guess, oh wait, they know we're...
Yeah, they know
No, you're getting a notification because you're in Canada.
Yes, but also I think we get served to Canadian trending a lot because we're Canadian. Now, YouTube has told me straight up to my face that it doesn't matter where you geographically upload from in terms of how the algorithm serves it.
But it might not matter to them, but maybe the algorithm has some, subtle
I
biases.
don't buy it. Because it's like, when's the last time I got a recommendation for a technical Guruji video? Never.
Yeah, well, I couldn't answer that question. So.
Yeah. Well, when's the last time you got a recommendation for a technical Guruji video?
I don't know who that is.
Exactly. He's only huge with over 10 million subscribers in the tech vertical.
I'm looking up who it is right now.
But obviously, because he doesn't speak English and he's located in,
I don't feel bad.
He's based out of Dubai? Yeah, he's based out of Dubai.
Yep.
Obviously, those videos don't get served to me.
Right.
Now, okay, that one's in a different language. That's a very extreme example. But I still don't believe that it doesn't matter at all.
The Social Blade thing is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because Social Blade takes advantage of the publicly available statistics that are there, and now they won't have access to that, so we can't even go to we can't even stalk other channels.
Now, it doesn't appear to be...
one of my favorite things to do.
It doesn't appear to be confirmed whether Social Blade will be affected because Social Blade is hooked into YouTube's API rather than just screen scraping the data off of the site. But my strong suspicion is that if they're trying to prevent, news outlets from reporting on unsubscription bombing, they're going to remove this data from the API as well.
Has Social Blade said anything?
Yes, they have actually. I believe the latest statement is that they don't know how it's going to affect them.
Okay, because has it rolled out completely yet? I'm not
No, it doesn't roll out until sometime in August, if I recall correctly. I just
Okay.
got signed out of the doc, so...
moving later this year, it says.
yeah, I think it's August.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, I think it's August.
Okay. Huh.
Effective August.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll make this more consistent by always showing abbreviated subcounts publicly. So Social Blade said, upon closer look, it may affect our data display, but only time will tell. So
yeah, that's okay. Now I'm with you. I'm against it. I'm against it. This is bad.
you know what else is bad?
And I'm upset. You know what isn't bad?
Oh, I was going to say this segue to our sponsor.
Yeah, well, that's why I was helping you.
But, oh, I see.
You said what is bad, and I was
my
like, that's
segue
not a...
was going to be bad.
Oh.
It's okay. You only ruined
Now
it a
it
little
was
bit.
bad, so.
This episode is brought to you by the Corsair Ironclaw wireless gaming mouse. It's got a comfortable palm grip. It uses a PMW 3391 optical sensor featuring native 18,000 DPI. It's got 3 methods of connection, so you can plug it in through a wire. That'll charge it. You can use their Slipstream wireless technology, which gives you sub 1 millisecond latency and 33 feet of range. Or you can use Bluetooth if you want to use it with a device that either doesn't have room for a dongle, or if you don't want to put a dongle into it, like if you wanted to use it with your tablet or your laptop on the go or whatever the case may be. It features up to 24 hours of battery life, and it's made for FPS and MOBA gaming with 3-zone RGB and a 2-year warranty. You can get yours today at the link in the video description.
Huh.
Also sponsoring the show today, Squarespace.
Squarespace.
We use Squarespace.
No joke.
We actually use it. Both our LinusMediaGroup.com and LTXExpo.com websites were built quickly using Squarespace. I'm just going to bring that up.
Why not?
LTXExpo.com. I'm going to bring up our updates.
Guys, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform.
Hey,
that
Colton
makes it,
did an update, and I didn't remind him. Oh, look, written by Colton Potter. I remember the first time I built a PC back in 2012. Luke had to do about 85% of the work while I stared in confusion, coming from my old school console life, preparing for the Error 37 catastrophe that was the Diablo 3 launch. It can be a tough job to build your first rig if you don't know someone or if you haven't watched every YouTube guide there is. That's why we're doing a PC building workshop.
On the TechLink
What is
set.
this? What is this old thing? Oh, okay, cool. So we partnered with iFixit, XFX, FreeGeek, and others to put together a sizable collection of computer hardware for attendees to learn on. The configurations aren't going to blow you away, but they're modern enough that the fundamentals are the same. So go check it out, and that's going to be great. Anyway, this website that you're looking at was made on Squarespace. If you haven't heard already, Squarespace makes it easy to get your website up and running quickly. Even Colton can do it. You can choose from tons of different templates, find the one that makes the most sense, and run with it. And if you need help, Squarespace offers webinars. They've got a full series of help guides, and you can contact their support team 24/7 to help you build your site. Head to squarespace.com/WAN and use offer code WAN to save 10%. Finally, the WAN show is brought to you by Madrinas. Clearly, they weren't too offended by the official Madrinas roast of Linus Sebastian. They still sponsor us.
They got roasted a little bit.
Yeah, they did a little bit.
Yeah,
Madrinas coffee is coffee for fuel, organic cold brew coffee, and convenient 15-ounce grab-and-go cans with a flavor for everyone.
Like this one.
They offer sweet and creamy flavors like mocha or caramel, and bold flavors like their cold brew black. We have a permanent item on their e-store, the Lambo Coffee Beans Roast, also our limited edition Cafe Vanilla cold brew cans. And you can check them out at madrinascoffee.com/Linus to get 40% off your order with code Linus.
I was drinking one the whole time, did you know?
I did know that, yes. You pointed that out at the beginning of the show as well.
Okay.
If you have any questions about Madrinas, Shlomo from their team is in the chat, ready to answer your questions through direct messages. All right.
Delicious.
Why don't we jump into what was
And nutritious.
what was our next topic that we had lined up here? Oh, 5G could break weather forecasting. I had not heard about this.
Yeah, I had seen like a reference to it in a couple stories before, but apparently it's actually kind of a problem. And it's also a problem because all of these companies are racing to get to 5G first, and we're not really taking the time to realize or to explore what problems this
So
could
there's
cause.
no calm before this storm
Hey!
hits us that we didn't see coming.
The storm of great data speeds.
The storm of actual debris in the air.
Real storms. We didn't see it coming.
So NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have been sounding the alarm that the wireless spectrum used for 5G networks could interfere with data collection that is used in weather forecasting. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, I certainly have, but weather forecasts are sure a heck of a lot more accurate now than they were when I was a kid.
Are they?
I mean, back then, the joke used to basically be that the weatherman was like, and remember, this was back then, so it was a weatherman. Not anymore, okay? Now it's the weather reporter? What is
Weather
the gender
person?
neutral weather?
Meteorologist.
Sure. So anyway, back then, the joke was that just before the news started, the weatherman would take a dart and throw it at a thing, and then that was the weather forecast. Because honestly, back in the late 80s, early 90s, they didn't have the kind of big data that they do now, and the kinds of supercomputer generated weather models that we rely on
In
now.
full 3D with ray tracing.
Yeah, so if there was a hurricane approaching the coast, they could be like, yeah, there's a hurricane a-coming.
Yeah.
But when
now we can do facial recognition on it.
now we can do, that's Hurricane Jemima.
We know.
Well, nowadays they'll be like, yeah, it's gonna rain for a few hours in the afternoon, and then it's
Right.
probably gonna be sunny after that. It's like, no, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing at all.
I didn't check the weather when I was a kid, so I can't really do that kind of direct comparison. I feel like,
It's probably because you didn't read the newspaper.
well, I read the comics.
Yeah, me too. That was all I read. I was just messing with you. So, on Thursday, NOAA's acting chief Neil Jacobs testified on Capitol Hill that the interference from new 5G wireless radios could reduce the accuracy of weather forecasting by as much as 30%.
That's a significant
He
jump.
said this would result in coastal residents getting 2 to 3 fewer days to prepare for a hurricane. Now, how does that make sense? I mean, surely, hurricanes that are 2 to 3 days away, you can collect data like way out
Yeah,
there where
that's
there's
kinda-
not a lot of 5G
Well,
signal.
I mean, maybe it's if it's close to the coast.
All right.
You know, you don't know whether it'll be a hurricane or not.
And this could lead to less accurate predictions about where these major storms are going to make landfall. Such errors in these predictions could cost people their lives, he warned.
At the cost of, also we could have faster data speeds.
Right.
Is it worth it?
The FCC began auctioning off the 24 gigahertz spectrum in March to wireless carriers who plan to use it for new 5G networks. And earlier this week, Democratic senators wrote a letter to the FCC asking that the agency refrain from issuing the licenses to auction winners until a solution can be found.
You want to throw up the source? People are asking for it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. The source is CNET and The Verge. You know what? We're going to go with CNET. Oh. What?
No, it was a joke.
I'm not biased. It's just... It's just, no, I don't want your notifications, though. Oh, man.
Stop that autoplay
oh,
video.
Man.
See?
Wait,
CNET,
no!
I like CNET.
Stop!
The auto-playing videos, you know?
Stop! Man, space footage of storms is amazing.
Awe-inspiring. It looks delicious.
You know what's weird, though, is it really looks round from here.
The Earth?
Yeah!
Were you?
That's weird.
You a flat?
Oh, no, you know
you a
what
flat
it is?
earther, dude?
You know what it is?
Uh-oh.
See, I always
Here we go.
thought that it was a rectangle, right? Because the map on the wall in school.
Uh-huh.
But actually, it's more of a pancake. That's why it looks round.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just kidding.
Wait, I need you to explain to me what you're talking about now.
No, I was pretending to be a flat earther.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I was just messing with you. So you know how sometimes you'll pretend to be offended so well
Yeah.
that people think you're actually offended?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll pretend to be an idiot so effectively that people think I'm actually an idiot.
That's my whole life.
Wow, this WAN show just got really real.
Okay. 5G though.
Anyway, so the 24 gigahertz frequency band is really close to the 23.8 gigahertz that NOAA uses to collect data for weather prediction. And the concern is that they will interfere with the sensitive sensors on satellites that are monitoring atmospheric conditions. Okay, so that explains it. So if we're talking about satellites and just like general noise and interference, this is kind of like, you know, a bunch of people getting on their 5G phone and playing some PUBG all at once. Could result in kind of the weather monitoring equivalent of someone flipping on a microwave when you're trying to stream Netflix on a 2.4 gigahertz network.
Right.
Got it.
Now I thought the whole thing with 5G was that it's short range. That like, well, I guess in cities maybe it's more of an issue where like it'll be blocked by things.
Well, remember too though that regardless of frequency, if you focus the signal enough, you can get incredible range. Like 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi can be used over many kilometers if you have a point-to-point dish setup.
Right.
So without really deep knowledge of how the weather collection apparatus works, we
Yeah.
can't say for certain what its range might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
So one suggestion has been that we could turn down the power emitted by 5G wireless radios to help prevent some of this interference. But obviously, if you turn down the power emitted by the wireless network, you're going to interfere with its range, which obviously the wireless carriers, who just spent a lot of money for this spectrum, are not going to be super stoked about.
Now I wonder how much of this is because most of the 5G deployment that we've seen so far is in cities, right? Where it's like, you know, there's a node on the corner of a building or something
Exactly.
that'll cover a certain area,
Like
and we can be fairly
one
certain
block.
and we can be fairly certain that that's not going to like escape out and interfere with something, or maybe it will. I don't know. But
I don't know.
I feel like I've seen a lot of talk about trying to build out an entire 5G network that has the same kind of coverage as 4G or LTE, but I don't think.
I call BS on that, basically.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
doesn't seem like that will be possible or desirable if this is true.
yeah, I think we've got to chalk that up to typical wireless carrier nonsense. I mean, you look at like the Canadian carriers. Oh, coast to coast coverage, and it's like,
Yeah, they mean coast to coast, like if you're in a major city.
here, let's have a look at the Rogers coverage map.
Oh, Rogers.
Oh, you guys
Wait a
are adorable.
Yeah, I mean, If they
There
can
we go.
barely get
Stay
LTE.
connected with Rogers Wireless, 5G, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so Canada's a pretty big country. And
Oh my gosh, BC's so bad.
yeah, the white parts are not covered. Only the yellow parts are covered. So it's like, yeah, the important areas, like Toronto,
Coast to coast.
the center of Canada.
Yeah.
You know, newsflash, the center of Canada is more like here.
Right.
In northern Manitoba.
We should be paying more attention to Manitoba.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Manitobans in the chat represent.
If you're in rural Quebec, you are like, you better hope you have a landline because you certainly don't have wireless coverage. Actually, no, Rogers is particularly bad back east.
What frequency spectrum is 5G going to operate in? 24 gigahertz.
Yes. We've got another topic. Now, you really wanted to talk about this. Let's go ahead and fire up the
did?
video.
What did I want to talk about?
You wanted to talk about this.
I didn't, well.
No, you wanted to talk about it. I'm going to let you talk about it. So this is NVIDIA's teaser video.
This could be an Uber card. Uber means super. Did you know?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's German.
Oh, no, okay, yes, I do know
Uber.
that. Yes, yeah.
Not Uber like the cars.
All right.
We have no idea what that's going to be. It's a cryptic tweet talking about some kind of product that has super in the name or on the physical product or
You said you
something.
wanted to speculate.
I did not say that, but we can speculate.
All right, you go first.
It's probably a graphics card.
So it was
Super-powered
posted.
RTX 2080 Ti.
It was posted from the GeForce account,
Yes.
which would suggest that it has something to do with PC gaming. However,
New shield.
yeah,
Super shield.
That's actually, I think,
Super soldier serum shields. There's gonna be a like Captain America. Captain America's got the super soldier serum.
yeah.
You know about that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so they're gonna have a shield, Nvidia shield.
Wait, they also have Shield.
Yep.
In Marvel.
Yeah, but
Is that where you're going with
I'm
this?
talking about Nvidia shield.
This is a different
the
shield.
Android TV. It's a shield.
Okay, are
and
there
it's got
Nazis?
super. They're, I don't know. I hope not.
Okay. Here's my prediction.
Yep.
It's not a new product at all. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up the video again real quick here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, not a new product at all,
And you know too because you have inside information.
but rather, yeah, everyone knows Linus Media Group is
Yeah.
wholly owned by NVIDIA.
This is our parent company.
Yeah, so
who's
you're an
announced
NVIDIA
something.
employee. There's a shocking number of people who actually seem to believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this. Look at this. Hold on. I think that this is an intentional typo, and that this is going to be a collaboration
With Supreme.
with the. See? Do you get a Supreme vibe from that?
That's a different font.
Hold on. Is it that different? Okay, hold on. We're gonna switch. Where is it? Okay, here we go.
You got too many
okay.
tabs, dude.
So
That is too many
Supreme.
tabs.
Oh crap. Super. Supreme.
Linus.
Okay, they're pretty different.
One font is serif, one is sans serif.
I'm going
Good
with
gravy.
Super-eam graphics card.
Super-y. It's pretty super-y.
Super-eam. Super-eam.
I don't think so. I saw a couple of people online saying that, like, oh, it's got a collaboration with Supreme. I don't think so. I mean, James says, what could it be, though? Software?
So
we know AMD is probably going to launch new GPUs. Okay, we've had a leak about Navi GPUs, so they're probably going to talk about those at Computex. So Nvidia probably posted this to steal some of their thunder, and it's, my best guess, I don't put money on things, but if I did, I would probably say that it's some sort of supercharged RTX 2080 Ti, because there's already a Titan RTX.
So the last time NVIDIA used super in their branding, and I'm not talking about EVGA with their super overclocked cards, was super phones. This was back in 2012, 2013. Oh. So here's a CNET video about an NVIDIA superphone. I remember them actually bringing one to our office at NCIX.
Is this like right, because they were like, okay, we've had the smartphone, now it's the time for the next evolution.
The superphone.
The superphone.
Yes. Oh man, forget it. We're not doing this.
Ads.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, the point was they were going to put their Tegra processors in phones,
Right.
And their Tegra processors weren't particularly amazing on the CPU side of things, but they had Nvidia graphics technology in them, so they were going to be great for gaming.
Right.
And Superphones, I believe a couple of phones did actually end up getting at least announced with Tegra processors in them, but then it never went anywhere. Like it was a complete dead end. The iPhone was just completely dominant at that time. Yeah, this is way back.
That's like
6
the
years
year
ago.
that I started all this stuff. So
And it was dead by 2013. It was like a 2012 kind of thing that they were talking about. So that to me might suggest that if they wanted like a super tablet, that might be something to do with it.
Oh, maybe this is because we've had a couple leaks and rumors this year about a new Shield gaming portable device.
So maybe it's a refresh to Shield based on like their super.
What a dumb name though.
Super
I mean-
Shield. I mean, is it any? Is it
That's
any?
why. Well, that's why I was like, oh, if it's a graphics card, I can see that because like, what else? You know, they've got the TIs, they've got the SCs, they got the OCs. Like, how many more things can we put on the end of GPU names? Super is like Super Edition. I'm like, okay, it's a weird adjective.
Is it any dumber
Super.
than like? Is it any dumber than Captain America?
That was a joke.
His super serum or whatever. Like, no, Captain America is not a joke.
Don't you
He's
talk
a very serious character.
I agree. I was just gonna say, don't you badmouth Captain America.
I just mean, is it any dumber than that?
He's a hero.
Is it any dumber than Batman? Like
Wow.
So from my perspective, the validity of a brand really comes from how good the product is, rather than the other way around.
Right.
It's not like you decide that a product is good based on hearing the name that makes you feel like.
I can decide that the product name's dumb without knowing what the product is.
Right, but over time, I postulate
That's
that
true.
you will
kind of
accept
forget.
it.
Yeah.
I bet you've accepted what a stupid name Kijiji is now.
I've never used Kijiji, and I still think it's dumb.
Okay, what about iPad? Have you accepted iPad?
I mean, I accept it as a fact of life.
We all thought it sounded like feminine hygiene products at the time. When's the last time you thought of that?
Okay, how about this? Do you accept how Apple refers to its products without articles? Like they don't say the MacBook Pro, a MacBook Pro.
No,
they
I
just say
actually do
MacBook
not
Pro.
accept that.
Okay, well, we go.
iPhone is
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah.
experience. Now, iPhone
will
is
make-
not a proper noun,
Yeah.
Apple.
this 8-core processor, we didn't even talk about that, but this 8-core processor makes MacBook Pro the world's best MacBook. Makes the MacBook
Okay, we should probably talk about that because
Real
that
quick.
was sort of the. Okay, so what do I call it then? New MacBook Pro. If I can't say the,
It's just
I'm
MacBook
stuck.
Pro with the type of display it has 2019.
It's stupid.
They should really start getting creative again, you know?
Yeah.
Like
How
go
about-
through
How
have
about
you really
Super MacBook Pro?
Superbook Mac edition.
Superbook. Well, Intel has their muscle books.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay,
gonna be great.
that's a name I decided was stupid and that I wouldn't like the product before it ever actually happened. Okay, so
I like muscle books.
Apple released a new MacBook Pro with Intel's new 8-core Core i9 processor. This is a crazy freaking mobile chip. It's not in here.
we
Don't
don't
worry
have
about it. And our immediate reaction to this device was that if Apple couldn't manage to tame the 6-core Core i9 that was in the last generation MacBook,
Oh right, because that was the one that overheated. It was a 6-core
yeah,
one.
that was the one that had the whole scandal
yeah.
around it, where they didn't have the basically the allowances in their software to let the CPU just go to 100, 105 degrees without throttling. So it was turning down, and it was not performing the way it was supposed to, even underperforming the quad-core variant that had come before it.
But they released it they released an update, right?
They released an update that fixed it in macOS, but not in Windows. Because at the end of the day, what they were doing was they were like kind of playing around with the power states and playing around with the thermal threshold to allow it to not drop below its base clock. But it's cooking in there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely cooking in there. So we speculated that the new 8-core MacBook Pro was not going to be a better situation for sure. So we figured it was going to thermal throttle. Now, Quinn from Snazzy Labs has already posted on Twitter that it doesn't thermal throttle. He says it just barely manages to maintain its base clock. However, I think you guys can always expect to get the non-Apple point of view from us. So we definitely have one on the way. It's already been ordered. Are you messaging me right now? Is that why don't you just come in and talk to me? Oh man.
You seemed like you had such a great rant going.
Oh
Yeah,
maybe.
didn't want to stop that.
Okay, whatever. The point is, you can always expect the alternate side of the coin from us. So we are going to be addressing some of the criticisms of our last video about Apple's thermal throttling in our review of the MacBook Pro 8-core 2019 mid-retina, whatever the stupid thing is called. So stay tuned, because from my perspective, there's a lot of different ways to define thermal throttling. So thermal. Okay, so you can say if it doesn't go below its base clock, it didn't thermal throttle. That's one way of defining it. That's correct. You can also say, you got your one word, thermal. Okay, so it's heat.
Yeah.
You got your other word, throttle, which is
Like
vroom,
a car.
vroom.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything other than the best that it could possibly perform, you could make the argument is throttling. Now, the base clock
A bit pedantic.
is not the same thing as the all-core boost. So even if the laptop is maintaining its base clock per Intel spec, so that's what Intel rates it for with its TDP, like its thermal rating, that doesn't mean that if that chip didn't have a better cooling solution, it couldn't perform a lot better.
Sure.
So all-core boost is what Intel rates the chip to clock up to, assuming the power and thermal overhead is available for it to turn itself up.
So these, I wonder if, does Apple have like a specific list? Like, do they say this is the base clock, this is the boost clock?
They only advertise boost, if I recall correctly.
They only advertise boost
A
clock?
lot of manufacturers do that. And we criticized Apple for it, and people were like, well, yeah, but what about? And so in our video, we're going to make a point of also criticizing other manufacturers for it, because it's stupid regardless of who does it.
Because, you know, we talk about Apple a lot, but
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of these other, Windows laptops with heat-intensive processors
Yeah.
also don't get all the way up to their boost clocks all the time.
So the thing that bothers me particularly about Apple is, and Quinn actually talked about this in his tweets, they advertise a boost clock that chip is just never going to see.
Apple does.
Yeah.
Right. Because they advertise the boost clocks, but he's saying that it doesn't even barely gets past the base clock.
So the maximum boost clock is based on a single core or a 2-core load. And the base clock is based on the minimum that it should run at that thermal rating that Intel assigns to the processor for all cores being loaded. So they're completely different measures. But what he said was that it manages to maintain base clock in an all-core load, and he didn't manage to see it hit its maximum advertised boost clock pretty much at all.
But if it works fine, and if you can go in GarageBand and make your little songs, then what's the what's the difference? You know?
I'm gonna move on to Superchats because I'd rather talk to someone else
Hey,
right now.
at least we'll remember to do them this time, eh?
Superchats. Yeah, well.
Come on.
Richard Lehman says, love your channel. It's given me many ideas for my new computer.
Nice.
No problem, Richard. Carlos says nothing. Says,
Love you,
Here's
Carlos.
$2. Tommy Gunn, 1928. Were you born in 1928?
Well, I
Wow.
thought that was the question. It's
We
not.
don't have a lot of elderly viewers, but Tommy Gunn. All right. Hey Linus, what laptop are you using during WAN? This is an HP something, EliteBook of some sort. I don't know. It's not great.
It's a fancy laptop.
I'm not going to recommend it. Giovanni Giorgio. I daily drive a Razer Blade Stealth, but I don't know if I'm going to recommend that either because it's the old one, not the new one. I don't really like the new one that much. I need to find a new laptop that is like my go-to.
I use the LG Gram 17.
That one's pretty cool. I really wish it had a touchscreen.
Yeah.
I'd be super into it if it had a touchscreen. Then
That's
I'd be
true.
like, Riley, that's my Gram now.
I-
Sorry.
You could That's fine.
Eric, thoughts on Thunderbolt 3 for phones? I don't really have any. It sounds like unnecessary power consumption to me. I don't know what you'd do with it.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. I mean, unless you want to use your phone as like a super powered flash drive or something.
USB 3 Type-C already has many of the benefits of a Thunderbolt 3 port. Like if you wanted to run an external display and some peripherals or whatever off it, you can already do that. So
Maybe that'll be important if when Android Q comes out, because it might have a desktop mode.
even then, you could use Type-C for that.
Yep.
Do your display and your peripherals, your
True.
networking. Like this right here is not a Thunderbolt dongle. It's just a USB Type-C dongle. You got your HDMI, you got your 3 USB ports, you've got your power pass-through, you've got your gigabit LAN, you've got your micro SD and your SD card reader. Like, this is all I could possibly want on a phone.
And it's
honestly.
pink.
And it's pink, isn't it?
So that's fun.
Yeah, I like it. Rose gold, excuse me.
Sorry.
Jeremy says, YouTube Premium gave me a free super chat to send.
Yay.
Thanks. Benny says, what do you think the best monitor is?
Oof.
I think the best monitor is coming, and I need to make sure it's not under embargo before I tell you guys what it's going to be. One moment, please.
The best monitor, like out of every single option there is? That's a bold
I'm
claim
going
to try and make.
I'm going for gaming, just
For
because that's like what I assume they're asking.
That 4K, 144 hertz. G-Sync.
Is this embargoed? Doesn't say anything about an embargo, so I'm going with it. Asus has their PG35 VQ coming. So it's a 3440 by 1440 ultra wide that does 200 hertz and has like,
Oh, wow.
I don't know, a bunch of dimming zones and HDR up the butt and
Dang.
like all that good stuff. So I'm going with
200 hertz.
I'm finally getting an upgrade for my Predator X34. It's going to be bigger.
Can I
it's
have
going to
it?
be badder. You already have one on your
I know
desk
better
up
than
there.
to ask these things on the WAN show.
Jamaican says, "Hi Riley."
What's up, dude?
Mikkel, yeah, he can't respond, so I don't.
I'm just saying, what's up?
Mikkel says, "Quick question: my computer will be an idle while the mother is on or off. The computer will start revving really hard, and the only way I can get it back to work again is if I do a hard reset. Have you ever experienced this problem?" My computer will be an idle while the mother is on or off. The computer will start revving really hard. If I do a hard reset. No.
I've not experienced that problem. Hey, check, post it in the forum.
Yeah, that would be a really good idea. Post it on the LinusTechTips.com forum. Other side guy says, collab with Mighty Car Mods when? Alex would die. He would love it. Yeah, I'd be pretty sick, actually. Andrew says, my girlfriend won't let me buy LTT shirts, saying I have too many.
Look at this.
Are you looking into making other LTT apparel, such as pants, socks, and beanies?
Well, this is another shirt.
That's
but-
another shirt. That's
got
our
hats.
new CPU design.
Yeah.
We also have the water bottles back in stock, lttstore.com. We have hats.
We got hats, dude.
We're
Check-
going to have boxers soon.
Can you see the logo on
You know
it?
about the boxers, right?
I do.
Have you
I've heard
seen
of
them?
No, I haven't seen them. No.
Oh, they're sick. Do I have them on me?
Oh, we have a thing. We have a box full of. I was supposed to talk about this. I'm gonna get in trouble.
No, the boxers aren't in here. Yeah, boxers aren't in there.
Velcro straps.
Cable ties. Jonathan says, why not 1440p next? That is actually a most excellent idea. We could do that on Floatplane. It still wouldn't address people being upset that, well, my 4K works somewhere else.
If you got a 4K monitor, you're gonna be like 1440p.
Michael says, go with super quality, but just call it low, medium, high, and ultra.
Oh.
Huh. So we could take like a
But that's deceitful.
what is it, Duke Nukem or whatever, where you've just got like instead of, low, medium, high, you've got like hurt me plenty and like kind of
Yeah. False advertising, I think it's called.
it burns when I pee, Okay.
Don't. You shouldn't say that on the show, dude. That's private.
Riley doesn't know. What are the odds? I feel like if we had looked at that at the time,
Never tell me the
it
odds.
might have made more sense. GIF is for the uncultured. Do you have a response?
I have no
Says
response.
Ryu.
What happened in your life that you want to be mean to people like that? That's my response.
Joe Scalen says many US carriers limit to 1.5 megabit per second. Yeah, we have separate files for mobile. Don't worry, it's okay. Chris says, have you tried the Quest? What do you think so far?
Are we gonna try it?
I honestly didn't care.
Everyone's saying it's really good. And I know that we don't do that much VR stuff anymore, and I'm not gonna say let's do VR stuff, but it seems like everyone loves it.
Don't do a ton of mobile VR stuff because it's
Apparently it's really good.
all right. Fine, you're on it.
Nice.
That's your next assignment. Okay, Riley's on it.
Sick, dude.
Can you add it to Trello? All right.
Right now.
Do it.
I'm not signed in to anything, so I can't, but.
Zion says GeForce Experience with ray tracing update for superior performance. Look at the light shading and rendering in the teaser. I think Nvidia makes all their teasers look sexy regardless of what the tech is.
Oh, he's saying the super.
Yeah.
Wait, what? So it's gonna be. He's saying that it's gonna be super is going to be an update to ray tracing.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
Maybe.
Okay, here's another one. Here's the money I got from buying YouTube Red, says Kian.
Nice.
Tech support says super is a dumb name, but so is Linus Tech Tips. I don't even disagree. D says, Corey, lol, you don't know I just tried it tonight. I'm waiting. See, so now, wait, people are sending super chats to talk to other people in the chat? Okay, I'm waiting for the marriage proposal then.
Oh man.
Like,
I've seen you in the super chats. It's like a personal class. What do you call those? The personals?
yeah, I think that's
In
classifieds. Classifieds. No.
No, that's
Personals.
personals.
Yeah.
Like I saw you on the bus. What? Let's get a coffee.
Tejas says Apple mentions both base and boost clock. So for the video, we're gonna go through, we're gonna research it thoroughly. Don't worry, we're gonna have some fun with it. Speaking of having fun, it's time for me to go home and have some fun packing.
Yeah.
Go to
you're
that Computex.
Heading to Taiwan.
Yeah, how did you get out of it? Because I thought we were gonna send you for quick bits.
Yeah, I think I made an argument that it might not be worth it.
Well, right, and then it was gonna cost me like a couple grand to send you there. So.
Yeah, and I'll probably just end up kind of like doing the same thing that I do here mostly anyway, so maybe the next event. But like, it's a 1 day, the thing is it's a 1 day production cycle, so it's like, it's hard to do anytime you're on an event. I've gone to many events and done TechLink now.
We could send you to E3.
I know what I'm in for. Yeah, there's apparently gonna be some hardware announcements, but we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe a new Xbox.
You wanna go to E3?
We talked about this before.
We also know that there's like Switch refreshes supposedly coming. Sony announced the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but they're not going to reveal that until Switch. I think is coming after E3, and Xbox might be coming at E3.
Which one is it? Sony that for the first time ever isn't going to have an E3 presence at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
They're not going to be there.
they're definitely not doing it. Then again, maybe they'll throw their own E3 down the street.
I think they did that.
That's like the pettiest
Before.
thing ever. I still remember when Nvidia launched G-Sync, AMD had their own event literally at the hotel down the street, and they were like,
But did they even have FreeSync yet?
no.
They're just like, look, we got stuff.
No, they were just like, here, look at this graphics card.
Yeah.
And because everyone had traveled there on NVIDIA's dime, it was like
Right.
really kind of rude. But then NVIDIA was super petty about it. Now, I haven't verified this, so it might not be true, but I heard other editors telling me that NVIDIA had someone outside the hotel watching who was leaving to go to the AMD thing or not. It's amazing. It's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
You would think these are like adults.
I mean, I don't know. It's fair enough. AMD also like named their products like, you know, the X399 and stuff.
Yeah, Ryzen 3, 5, and 7.
And they might be naming their new GPUs. Have you seen this? The RX 3080?
Really?
And the RX 3070? They might. That's the rumor, but we
I
don't
hope
know
not,
yet.
because they already created enough trouble when they called Threadripper's chips at X399.
Right.
Because
why
Intel's
I
was
was kind of like-
X299.
Yeah.
But then X299 was stupid because they went from X58 to X. Okay, so hold on, let's go way back. You got your X38, your X48, your X58. So there's a bit of a pattern here.
Right.
X68, nowhere to be seen. You got your X79.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then from
Then
there
no
they went to
X89, we went to
X99.
X99.
Yeah.
Then we just arbitrarily went to X299.
instead of like X1.
So maybe
19
Intel's
or
plan is to go X499 and leapfrog AMD. I don't know. It's they're children. Everyone is children.
it's
That's
dumb.
If there's anything I've learned in life, it's that you're born,
Born,
you
grow
go
up.
to elementary school,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And
You
then
peak.
it's just from there on.
You
it's
get-
your
You
that's-
become a bigger fourth grader.
That's the amount of maturity that you reach
And
if you're Linus.
And that's the way I like it. All right, so tune in next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. I will be in Taiwan, so I don't know who's going to be hosting it, but it'll be someone cool. Maybe Riley, because he's not going.
WAN show?
Yeah, WAN show.
Oh yeah, maybe.
See you guys.
See you later. And you got to make sure that you hit the right button.
Yeah.
When you end it.
Yeah. No, I already changed the default behavior.
Wait, no. On in this one,
In this one.
I pressed.
Oh no, I know how to do that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I did
that's
wrong last time.
That's a non-issue.
Yeah. See,
The
I'm you in this. I dropped the couch first.
Yeah, there was another problem last time actually. It was that
Oh, the sponsors were.
no, not that. There was another more different problem. It was actually that this button, make archive unlisted when complete, was checked by default for a while.
Oh.
So that's why